Well, thought I'd do a quick video because I guess I'll have a little bit to add on to this that I sold, but I haven't felt good for the last few days. I thought I probably got that new strain of COVID because all the symptoms were there. So hopefully I'll survive until next year. Hopefully I'll put a video up for the New Year's maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to work on my old movies channel because I have a converter for all my old video and I'd like to start transferring that, but if I start doing that it's going to take up the time. I think I said this earlier in my other piece. Anyway, I thought I was feeling better today, and now I feel crappy and my chest is kind of hurting, so I don't know. Hopefully I'll get over it. I started getting a queasy stomach too, which is another sign of that stuff. But I also catch colds pretty easily, but usually I get rid of them within a day or two. So depending on how much juice I drink. So anyway, so I guess this is winter at my house. Look at that nice dander and dust just from that movie sitting here for a week. I'm going to attempt to get this dead stock pile of crap out of my living room. I seem to have survived my, well, not dead yet anyway, of my brush with the new strain of COVID. Well, okay, maybe I just had a common flu cold. I don't think so. What do you think, kid? Anyway, yeah, I'm just listening to another YouTuber reseller or eBay reseller online that I kind of got into it with. Not got into it, I won't say that. I don't care. Everybody can talk. Let's show you, buddy. That he had made a comment about recycling and using, like, you know, wrapping paper and newspaper and things, and he said it was kind of like using trash. So I kind of took offense with that because I don't purposely store, you know, reuse paper that's, you know, been used before or dirty. I don't, you know, I was keeping like when I keep Walmart bags because I like to always have whatever I sell wrapped in something, and I'm not going to go out and buy all kinds of sizes of bags. Those work just fine to protect the item, and then I use the bubble wrap around it or whatever. A lot of times, like DVDs, I just wrap the bubble wrap around them. I don't worry about covering it. If it's a really expensive item, I always bag it. Albums are always in sleeves. In fact, people complaining too much over the years, I take the record out of the cover. I personally, the way I pack a record, usually the press of the cardboard against it is just fine. The record will not go anywhere, and it's better to have it in the cover, I think. But anymore, I just take them out, unless, of course, it's sealed. Hey, where'd you go? I guess somebody doesn't want to be on camera. Well, that's too bad, buddy. Gotta earn your keep. That's your mother's box I gave her. Yeah, so, you might notice the old format, because this is my old camera again, because, well, I didn't really like the transfer thing, but I knew on that GoPro 9, but I knew once I got my other crap updated, I could, I'd be able to use it properly. But, my buddy Michael came up that I filmed with, and he adjusted it and put it down to 24 frames, you know, whatever, and I did a couple videos on it right before the last one I did on this. I had done my sale, or my buys for the day or whatever it was, and a couple other odds and ends. Well, when I went to put the video together, I noticed I think I got off track. I was supposed to be talking about that recycled paper products. No, I noticed that those files off the GoPro were only audio for some reason, and I can't figure out what's going on with it. First I thought Michael had changed something, but I contacted him, he didn't say anything, and I put all the settings back, tried several different settings, and nothing is transferring right. So I got on Google, and I ended up going to a couple videos, and one did say that they had there was a message board too, and the people had bought it, and were come up. They said they did some videos off at the start, and they were fine. And then all of a sudden, they weren't fine. They were audio files. Now, one of the person was still on Windows 7 like Enoch, but if it worked the first time, and the card worked the first time, it shouldn't be a factor. Now, the only thing I remember doing wrong, or well, I didn't do it wrong, but when I took those files off, normally I've been taking the card out of the camera, putting it in the adapter, because I have two kinds of files on it. So I put it into the slot in the computer and take the files off by hand. But I noticed, well, I ended up taking the ones off with my cord to my camera, like I did in the old, like other times, and it doesn't make any sense. Cut. I took the last time I took the files off, I took it off with the cord into the camera instead of taking the chip out. And I don't know if that affected it. It could have. I don't know. I did end up putting the next time I did it, I put it back in the slot in the computer instead. But yeah, I do not know what's going on. But I think I'm just, you know, I don't need the camera that badly, and I do need a new phone, and I think I'm just going to take it back. I'll throw in the extra money on a better phone, and then maybe pick up a cheap GoPro, because I don't really need anything that fancy. I just, you know, it's nice to have the HD and stuff, but I'll always get one later, and yeah, I don't know. You know, and the rest of the packing situation, I don't know if I'm going to, he thinks he should put the thing in, like, list it in your description that you recycle materials. And I don't know whether I should or not. I'm surely not going to go back to 800 listings and change it all. That's just going to have to be changed as I go, as I list new items. So that means very few are going to say it. But you know, and I don't, like I said, I don't really, I'm back in the day, if we had clean wrapping paper from family's Christmas, I would use that as filler. It wasn't what I wrapped the main item in, it was just to take up space in the box. But like, I just bought all this wrapping paper at the auction. Now, do people think when I use it for packing that I'm using old wrapping paper? There's no tape on it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's why sometimes I don't get feedbacks. Nobody complained. I've never had a complaint about it. I don't reuse dirty crap, like I said. This used to be my packing newspaper, but the cat's got in it too much now. It's just sitting there for them. I only keep paper down here for packing. When I used old grocery bags, I always usually just kept my own. All the ones my mom accumulates, I'd use at the flea market. But I think I'd get better at this all the years I blabbed on this camera. I'm going to, yeah, had to turn off the mountain guy. Now I have to give him a credit at the end of this for stealing his sound. I didn't mean to have it up so loud. Probably have to reshoot this video, which wouldn't be a problem, I guess. Anyway, back to what I was babbling about. What was that? Oh, like the grocery bags. When I always only kept the good grocery bags. You know, the stuff that had dry goods on them. Anything that was damp, I don't reuse for packing. I mean, you can turn it inside out. And I always, when I take one to use, I always check it. Make sure there's nothing in it. You know, so I don't know. I'm pretty careful about that. And I don't see, if I go out and buy new boxes and new packing for everything, I can't afford that. It's going to cost money. You can't be competitive. The other issue I will bring up, that he made a comment that it's your business how you run your company, okay? That right there, if you're a single person at home that goes to Goodwill and other places and buys crap,
you're not a company. You're just a guy, a dude, or a woman, sorry, or whatever. Brother. Cut.
No, it's your business, but it's not, you know, I like to have integrity. I care about it. It's me selling this stuff. It's not a company, it's me. I care about what I'm selling because I collect stuff. So I expect the same from other people, which I know that doesn't happen. Well, this video is going to be ridiculously long. Luckily I have a lot of crap sitting around that I can show to keep it interesting. No one wants to see my old ugly mug. Yeah, anyway, the company, you know, I think when you start thinking of yourself as a company, I think that's when you start to suffer your quality.
You might go down. You're going to care more about your company than your products you're selling and the bottom line and all that shite. So it's just, you should never lose sight of what you really are doing.
I had a store for 11 years, and I also sold comic files for an additional 10 years. And I've done eBay since '99, and I just never looked at it like, I always look at it as myself as an individual. That's why I don't like Amazon. I feel like, and Discogs. I
feel like it's just a list of things to buy off differently, especially Amazon. Just they show you the lowest one down. I don't like it. I like to, you know, I don't like eBay sometimes either. You can't trust what you're getting. When I see all these people that have supposedly limited edition albums, but they have 10 or more available, concerns me. Am I getting a legitimate thing? You know, and then some of these people, even though they sell, you know, I don't care if you sell 50,000 things a year, but when you have 1,000 negatives, it concerns me that I don't understand.
Why? Oh man, I should have been doing this more. Why these guys get away with that? That means they're not controlling that's a company. When it's something like that, that's just a mess. So, anyway, and my other thing was, I noticed about descriptions. People do not read your listings. I don't know if it's because eBay has that little quickie thing down below your thing that says things like, you know, used, or that's what you're supposed to put, you know, your details in. Well, I put it in my thing. My descriptions do not say condition is used. That is pathetic.
If you put that in your ads, you shouldn't be selling. I'm sorry to say, but it's terrible. It's, you know, when you're telling people to only look at photographs, it's, I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, I had a guy buy a couple tapes, and I'm happy he bought them, but one of the tapes, when I went to pack them, I checked them again, and I noticed the one cassette the tape wasn't connected. Now, and these tapes have been in my store for, I don't know, 3 years maybe. I only had them in there because they were in these snap cases. Maybe I'll put a photo in those. That I had in my listing, it actually said that, but I noticed the guy's email saying, I can't wait to, I got a pickup with a cassette player, and I can't wait to play these tapes in it. When I checked my ad, it said clearly that one tape would need to be fixed. And of course, he didn't know that because he did not read my thing. Another guy messaged me on one of my records I had listed and asked about a mark on the record. And again, it's addressed in my description that it was a needle skate or whatever, but he clearly did not read my description.
So I'm going to go back to what I did once before, was when eBay started putting that little thing there, I started putting, please read description and see photos. Or just, please read my description. And that's all. And I'm going back to that. I'm not going to change them all because it's too much work. I'm just going to, as I go, I'm just going to do that. And if they don't, you know, they're going to have to start reading things. That's how you get, that's all the bad feedback I've ever gotten, was because people themselves did not look and see what they were buying.
Boy, this is a terrible video. I don't even want to watch this. All bad news. So, Larry's doing better, and you can probably tell I'm feeling a little better, a little cranky. Some sinus issues today, but with my allergies and always catching colds, I don't know what I have. So, but, yeah, I don't know. Hoping I recover. I don't know. This is already, this is New Year's Eve, my New Year's Eve video. Oh, I quick and smack it around. Anyway, hopefully this video is not too irritating to watch, and I don't lose any more subscribers. This is the day before the new year. It's like, I don't know what time it is, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're getting ready to celebrate a brand new year after 2 horrible ones. You'd think maybe we could get a good one. What? Say Happy New Year, Larry. Oh, and that's another issue I should say. I had the little video of little Larry that I tickled him, and there was some kind of odd Christmas music playing in the background, and so I put it as a reel on Instagram, and he's gotten the most likes of anything I've ever had. Anything ever on the internet. I think last time I checked, he had 169 likes. Larry, what do you think, Larry? Are you proud of your achievements? So yeah, if you find me on Instagram, you can look at that video. I think it's on my Facebook too. So yeah. So I guess, I hope everybody has a wonderfully happy-ish New Year. And there's my mother's mother with a cat. I forgot I had that picture of her. I only knew my grandmother on my mom's side for a little while. I have one memory of her teaching me piano at their actual original house. My grandfather died before I was born. Anyway, my grandmother ended up getting basically an invalid. She had to live at my Aunt Edna's, and I was kind of afraid of her when I was a kid. She just laid in that bed. She always kind of smiled, but she's just, you know, I don't know, I feel bad now. Here's my other thing that's kind of cool is that my grandfather, my dad's dad, I think I might have said this in another video, but since nobody watches the old ones, I guess I can repeat it. He bought a Ferris wheel and set it up at Conneaut Lake Park. That's when you would have owned your own rides over there. That's before a lot of amusement parks, you know, like owned everything. They were like a carny. So my grandfather, I think, sold tickets to the Ferris wheel for 10 cents each. And I don't know whatever happened to his Ferris wheel. I don't know if it was the same one that was over there when I was a kid. They just probably, well, the story is my grandmother would never go. And that's because my grandfather had a heart attack and died at Conneaut Lake Park. So she was never fond of going back to it. But I'm pretty sure this is my grandfather's Ferris wheel. I never thought much about it until a few years back when I found one of these cards, or found this card. And it's colorized. My grandfather died in 1930. Oh my God, what am I forgetting? 1938, I think. My dad was only like 14, 15 years old when he died. Anyway, now I happened to look at this picture one day, and I happened to notice, you know, it's not going to focus, but the guy running the ride is probably my grandfather, because he's standing just like my father used to stand, with his hand on his hip, and it's just definitely, it looks like kind of like my dad standing there. And I thought it was awesome that this probably is right around the time he probably died. So if you ever find this postcard, you can say that's Tom Colbert's grandfather, Charles W. Colbert. Well, my progress? Wait, did I film this earlier? Yes, I did do some progress. I think I made a bigger mess. Hopefully I can get this taken care of. I love you, Poppy. Happy New Year!